Hello, people of the internet. We are working on this mock issue today where we statically define a build dependency, build time dependency, for example, on this package. And then we have this dynamic macro there, which basically dynamically specifies another set of dependencies. And this macro is actually provided by this package. And in such case, the dependencies aren't resolved correctly because only this dependency is installed, but these are not. And we need to figure that out. We already did some initial investigation and I explained the project and so on in the previous video. So please take a look at that if you want to get the interaction. And we are going to continue from the very point where we ended up at the end of the video. I still have everything opened as it were. I just don't remember anything. Fucking hell. Okay, let's try to give it our best. So I have this, if you remember correctly, this fails. We said that dynamic build requires equals true here, even though it was evaluated to false. I changed it to be true so that we go into this conditional part of the code, and I wanted to see what happens. Apparently it doesn't work. Now, why it doesn't work? We are trying to install the source, install SRPM dependencies on an empty list, so it fails. Now, I was curious because BuildRequires would suggest it contains a list of packages, package names, for example, but install SRPM dependencies would suggest it needs a list of spec files or source RPMs. So I'm curious what is even the parameter supposed to be. So yeah, we were here in this point. We tried to duplicate the command. It didn't help. It didn't help. So I hear some noises. What is this? Do shoot command. What was the command? What was the command? So it was RPM build BR. So no clean and stuff, no depths. I know what BS is, what BA is. BR, I suppose, is install building RPM, I guess. Man RPM build R. Build just the source package, checking for dynamic build requires build dependencies. Executes the okay. Interesting. So we did this command. What was the output? Output is empty. Return code is 0. I'm thinking do we... This file, this reproducer, doesn't say anything about dynamic build requires macro. My question is, do we need to have this macro inside of our reproducer? It's possible. So I want to take a look at this. Okay, which contains a script. So if we take a look, for example, because I know a bit of Python RPM packaging. So Python RPM packaging, so that Fedora packaging guidelines Python, so that we can take a look at the example, right? So generate automatically generated dependencies. I would rather see a spec file, an example spec file. Example spec file. So what they do here is here, generate build requires, and then this stuff. PyProject build requires T. So my question is, did we even reproduce the thing incorrectly? What if we, I don't want that. What if we kill this? What if we open our hello spec and do this, right? I don't really know. Maybe we can take a look at the documentation. I mean, looking at it, doesn't seem to be generate build requires here. It doesn't seem to be here. So if we grab R, let's do RG in downloads RPM specs here. Maybe let's do simple. I don't grab R. Okay. It tried to evaluate it as a regex, and that was the problem. So if we open this one, is that generate? No, it's not. It doesn't use the generate build requires here. So that's so our reproducer is correct. Our reproducer is correct. Now, I'm curious. The command was this one, right? What happens if I run it? If I run it for myself on the RPM build specs hello spec. Generate build requires bad exit status. That's sure. Let's get rid of it. Like this. Now, what did this do? Let's open it in Emacs. And we will see. Yes. You know what? Let's kill the src RPM and let's open it again. Open the spec. This is not evaluated. That's not helpful. Okay, let's do VV. That's not helpful. I wanted some verbosity. Okay. So if we go to ls rpm build root maybe, or build, build hello. So now we have some spec parts here, which is empty, and we have hello this, okay, but the extracted tarball. That's not useful to us. We were mainly interested in the spec file. I wanted to see if the spec file is modified. We can kill this. Modified, kill this anyway, yes. So BR. Let me take a look at the RPM build. BR, build the source package, checking for dynamic build dependencies. Executes prep and generate build requires stages before creating a packages. See the dynamic build for more details. Dynamic build requires. When the generate build requires stage runs and some of the newly generated build requires are not satisfied, RPM build creates an intermediate source package ending in no search RPM, which has the new build requires and exits with code 11. Okay, so that explains our build requirements, no search RPM. So that would contain the spec file. But I mean, this is, we probably shouldn't even be inside of this dynamic build requires section, because we don't have the dynamic build requires macro there used. So, and we don't want to. So I think this is not our case. We were going sideways probably. Let's try to do our reproducer again. Okay, and now we are 808 in this file. So we are here. Calculate depths. When we use dynamic build requires, the RPM call will execute generate build requires section once again in order to actually add the build requires to the srpm metadata. Since the output of generate build requires section isn't controlled by mock, it is possible that the list of generated build requires will differ now, as it is not guaranteed to remain stable. By instructing RPM to check dependencies, we ensure a failure if a new unsatisfied dependency is generated. Unfortunately, we can only do this when using a build strap chroot, because the RPM in the chroot might not understand the RPMDB otherwise. That was not useful for us, I think. What is our situation on calculate depth? So this doesn't happen. Now, what if it happened? What if we do equals true and continue? Did it happen or did it not happen? Let's do if not calculate depths. Oh, so I accidentally skipped it. Okay, then quit and try again. So I'm not exactly sure what this should do. We will see. Okay, so we are 808. Let's jump to the next one. It did some stuff. Okay, now we have check depths, which is false. And we did this. Get command. I mean, what was this? RPM build BB on this one. What is BB? BB build just the binary packages. Okay. So this is actually the very last step of our this is the very last step of our build package, and this is the part where it builds the actual RPMs. So at this point we are already too late. What is our situation of the SC? SC is none. So if not SC, we do this. We don't have SC. That means we do BA somewhere. Oh, this is all nested under the dynamic build requires. I mean, you know what is very weird to me? Let's go to a breakpoint somewhere here. I guess here, right? This would be the good place. So kill this. Try this again. Now, do we have import spec file? We have a spec file. Cool. Maybe we will do something different. Maybe we will do sub process. Do we have sub process? We don't. Do we have anything from sub process? We don't. Yeah, mock uses some util run. Yeah, okay. It uses util run. Maybe we can use that. Util run echo hello world. Okay. Now, what if we do, who am I? I'm root. Okay, so I'm in. No, that doesn't mean anything. What if I do ID my name? Okay, so it found it. So I'm trying to figure out, am I inside of the container or not? I guess I'm not inside of the container. I could do ls home. Okay, so there is definitely my home directory. So we are not inside of that container. What I wanted to actually do was rpm eval, and I wanted to rpm eval that funny macro, which evaluates here, because we are inside or not inside of that container. Okay. So that's not what I anticipated. Okay, let's do something else. We will do R Fedora 43. We had that, but we will do shell. Now, do we have RPM? We have eval. It says nothing. if we do install, this one, and do the shell again, it now has it. So that's what I expect. This is exactly what I expect. Now, yeah, when I know what experiment we are going to do. I know what experiment we are going to do. We are going to I know. We'll kill this. We are going here. I want to add the package somehow into the minimal build root. And it shouldn't be that hard. Then fallback, package manager. There needs to be some. Place in this file where minimal build root packages are specified. When you search for initialize, initialize config, okay, so what if we take a look at vim at that sudo vim at that mock Fedora, it would be in templates, Fedora for branched probably. Chroot setup cmd. So this is dnf install group build. I'm not sure if we can dnf install. Let's take this and copy paste it here. So we do dnf install, if mirrored, yeah, we do mirrored, right? So we can do this probably, sure. And can I also do, not this, can I also do a package after a group? I can, cool. That's what we are going to do inside of that config file. And now, before even trying to do anything, we should have the we should have the package installed. So we can confirm. We will do sudo, we will do the mock the way we do normally, I mean the way we do here, and I want to run, oh my, so many typos. I want to run a clean on it. Now I want to run the shell again. Now I shouldn't have any shell history. I don't. And now if I do rpm eval quotes and this string, it's still empty. I mean, this is confusing because we explicitly said, yes, I'm such a dumbbell. I was editing the files in etc mock templates, right? But that's an incorrect place. Shoot. That's an incorrect place. Since we are using this config, which means it is the config inside of the repository. So mock templates branched, Fedora branched, and we need to put it right here. So this is the package name, and we need to put it right here. If we run it, we do clean, good idea probably, and now shell. Now we don't have any history, so rpm eval, I probably will never remember the name, and it has the values now. So we successfully installed it. Now let's do, we don't have to do the clean now, let's do this and see if it installs the stuff or not. Yeah, and see if it installs the stuff or not. And we should probably start some bets. Do you think it will now install the packages specified by this macro or not? Since it evaluated the macro, it should, right? But my guess is it won't. And like 2 minutes ago, I had an explanation for that and I forgot it since then. But yeah, it should, but I think it will not. Now let's check the results. We did RG on the results before, right? Linux policy. Linux policy devel is being installed, and that's the one that Linux policy devel. Oh, yeah, but okay. Okay, so I was mistaken. Linux policy devel. Okay. Okay. That means that's a good sign actually, because if it weren't installed, then the problem wouldn't be fixable basically. It would be, but not by us and not easily. So it's a good thing it is here. However, it works differently than I understand them. What we need to do is then make sure then before some code happens, the package is actually installed. Basically this package needs to be installed soon enough, and I don't know what soon enough is. This is the command that installs the devel. So before this happens, it needs to the static dependency needs to be already installed. So here we are at package manager. That's, I don't know where it was called from. We are running several commands here, but yeah, I don't know. What is the nspawn command that we run here? So nspawn command root capability pipe set env prompt install dnf build app install root. So before this happens, and dnf build app install roots. I guess that's somewhere in the package manager. Package install root micro DNF. Yeah, a lot of complications here. Build invocation. Okay, yeah. This is the command basically. Yeah, this is the command. That's weird. I want to run this again. And I want this line, and I want to take a look what is the source RPMs there. But I think we checked that already. We are running in circles probably. As RPMs. So what do we do for build dep? Build dep functions somewhere. method on DNF build dep. Okay, good enough. And we need to go for the package manager. Yeah, self-execute. Because when I do self-execute, what does self-execute do actually? Yeah, that's the use and spawn garbage and so on. Okay, can we do self? We don't have self, we have package manager here, I guess. Yeah, we have self, we have this execute. Execute has args and keyword args. How does it use them? Okay, so can I do something like echo hello world? I cannot type, of course. Execute. Cannot use the list as a dict key. Okay. Can we do echo hello world? Unknown argument for DNF5. Okay, well, never mind. We can do build dep on this. Command failed. Yeah, that's all wrong. That's all so wrong. Let me show. It's used on args. So build dep. Actually, what is the result of this? Foo equals foo is none. How is it none? By the way, is it really none or... Yeah, it's none. So, but this does self-execute. We go to self-execute, and here we are returning something. Execute mounted. Execute mounted is return out. What is out? Is util do. I may start crying soon because this is not fun. I'm also curious. I want to try quit mock. I want to see if we do RPM build. No. If we do what happens if I do I may know what is the problem. We rebuilt source RPMs, right? So the results, where is the results? We do RG here. Yeah, because we didn't finish the command. Okay, let's finish the command. There will be, of course, the build RPM and the build source RPM in the results, which was then used to build the RPM. But the source RPM will not be the exact one that we are supplying on the input, right? We are doing this. We are supplying this source RPM to mock. But mock takes it, it rebuilds it, and then builds RPM from it. And my expectation is, here is the source RPM. My expectation is that inside of this source RPM will be the spec file, but the spec file will have the macro evaluated. Right? So if we open this and the moment of truth, no. Then I don't fucking understand anything. Absolutely anything. Doesn't make any sense. One more time. Edit this source RPM, this spec file. Nope. I expected this to not be here and the output of it to be here. That's not true. Then I don't really know. Okay, so that's not useful. Now, before I forget, I need to edit this template and remove it. Remove the default package from here so that I don't accidentally think I fixed it. And okay, another of my ideas was wherever we install the source dependencies, we try to do the same but sooner. Also, what is install external? Requires is a list of packages to be installed. Extract any external and install them. Okay. I mean, what if we take this? Can we put it at the very first step? Okay, we don't have rebuild SRPM yet. So can we try to put it here? Okay, yeah, let's... Okay, I don't know, let's try it. So... this one. Okay, we are already closing a second hour on this. Yeah, I don't want any breakpoints now. Let's just continue through everything and see the results. I will have a meeting with Pavel today, so if we don't figure out the solution before that time, I will ask him, and we are going to work based on his advice. So, see, Devil is not here. So, putting it here doesn't actually help. And that's because I kind of expect it needs to happen before rebuilding the source RPM. And I thought that even a few minutes ago when we did the experiment, if the macro will be expanded inside of that package or not. And it wasn't, so it kind of screwed with my mind. But I still think like the dependencies needs to be installed before rebuilding the package. And that's not a problem for us. I think we can do, hopefully, a spec path here. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but I would expect that, because when I run a DNF build app on my machine for my purposes, I use it with a spec file. Oh, the problem is no such file or directory on this spec file. Now I'm curious, if we put a debugger right here, so it's 290, right? If we put a debugger right here and see the path of the spec file, 290, so we are exactly where we wanted. Rebuild SRPM is okay, so that's full path. Okay, if we do ls this, it exists, and if we do what was the spec path? So if we do suspend this again and specs here and hello, so it exists. Okay, and we can even open it and it looks like this. Okay, cool. So just for development purposes, we will take this, kill this, sure. We will take this and we will do path equals, let's do, for example, full spec path, for example. And now we will do full spec path, and this will of course be plus spec path, right? So we don't need the, okay. Once again, let's go through everything. Now let's argue the results. Devil. Yepers. Okay, okay. I think we get it now. So, remember when we tried to do this, we did rebuild SRPM, right? We didn't have these two lines, we had this line. So we rebuilt the source RPM and then install the source RPM dependencies for that. It doesn't install the devel. But if we don't do this, and just before rebuilding that source RPM, we actually install the dependencies for the spec file, because we don't have the source RPM yet. I mean, we have the original one, so we can probably use the source RPM here. And I don't know if that's better or not. By the way, yeah, okay. So basically, what we know is it needs to be installed before rebuilding the package. Cool. Now we are going to, like, by the way, there is a self OS path join on BuildRequires. Oh yes, okay. That joins just the BuildRequires/specs and spec file. It doesn't have the the path to the not build root. I mean, it doesn't have the path to varlib something, right? So we need to dynamically get this, and then I think we are just fine. And I'm also curious if we need to then install the source RPM depths here. I think we do. I think we do. Let's run this again. Maybe we can guess the variable somehow. So it's 206. I didn't put the debugger here, sorry. Kill these yappers again. So we are looking for 289 now. Never mind. 289. Yeah, that's the one. Now, I don't know, self. If we do dir self, pp dir self, backup, build results, root, build root, bootstrap build root. Okay, so what is self root? Self build root object build dir base dir, I guess. What's mock dir? No, base dir. Result dir. That's the one? No, not actually. Root dir. Is there a root dir? Yep, that seems to be the one. If we copy paste it, that's the one. That's the one. So we need this variable instead of this. This is full spec path. Install dependencies for full spec path. Like this. We can do one more check that it works. I think I've seen some errors. Possible expanded macro in release. Okay, so we have some problems. Okay. I guess that is because the external dependencies are not installed before. Possibly. Where are we? Backend 8.11. Yeah, that's wherever. If we do RG, it's there. Cool. Now, I think to move this above. That's good enough for me now. We can now remove a lot of stuff that we have here, right? I think we don't need this. We have this. This doesn't matter. Breakpoints. So, yep, this is our fix, and this is the thing I wanted to move above. Move above. So I kind of want to see what's inside of the requires. They are text to text from something. Okay. Yeah, I've seen the badly evaluated macro again. Requires. Interesting. Interesting. Wait. Maybe this. No, we tried that. We tried that, right? I think we tried that, but we will try again, because maybe I messed up the first time, or maybe I'm misremembering. So I want to see what is going to be the requires now, since we commented this out. Requires. And the devil is not here. See? That's funny, right? That's funny. What to do about that? I'm also thinking we have the full spec. Yeah. What if instead of using the spec file, we use the original source RPM before. So if we do ls var lib, I mean full spec, this one. If we do this, but it will have serpm, yeah. So does this exist? Yeah. So what if instead of full spec path we did actually serpm? This is the original one. And we run it again. Will we see the badly expanded macros or not? Not yet. No. Doesn't look like it. Okay. It doesn't look like it actually. If we search for release. No. No, 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 no. Okay. So maybe this will be it. But we need to make sure the devel is installed correctly. Cool? Cool, 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 cool. What is install SRPM? Why do we install SRPM? Not sure why do we install SRPM, but yeah, I mean, we could do it here. We could move our code here before the spec parsing, but I actually want to keep it here because I want it to be just before we build, the source RPM. So we don't need the spec file, the source RPM is good enough. We don't need the variable even, we can do like this. We need to install the dependencies before rebuilding. We need DNF build dep before rebuilding the SRPM, so that cases like what is the ticket number are covered. So this works. My question was, do we actually need this line? If we do this, I'm quite curious if we need it or not. But it seems we are slowly finishing the issue regardless of what the output of this is. We are going to create a pull request for that. Okay, RG, what do you think? It's 50-50 for me, I have no idea. Devel is there, actually. Wow. So maybe we don't even need this? It was just about moving the... Interesting. Let's do clean, just to be sure, because maybe I'm messing up, and maybe I'm messing up so bad we didn't even fix the issue. Let's do the RG again. It is there. If we do clean and RG now, okay, it's removed. Okay, so clearly it worked. Clearly it worked. If we diff, yep, that this is it. This was our 2 hours actually. I think this is good. Git checkout B. Git checkout B. How do we call the branch? BuildRequires from macro. Good enough. This is of course only for our development purposes, so we need only this change. Is there any like convention of commit messages? Probably not, so we can just put it there. Fix, make sure to install BuildRequires defined by macros. Fix this issue number. Make sure to install BuildRequires defined by macros. Okay. Now, if we create pull request, it will fail. The CI will fail because we also need to specify a changelog entry. Maybe we can do that also. it's called town. No, I thought it is town crier or something like that. So inside of mock, one up, Gemini, reuse relang release nodes next. This is the one, I guess. Here is a template. Bug fix. Okay, so let's do build requires from macro bug fix, and we will do make sure to install BuildRequires defined by macros. For example, why I don't see my vertical line at 80 characters? Is that some bug or something? It works in the other buffer. Okay, interesting. Never mind. For example, when using, for example, let's make it easier on us. This now properly installs the package. I hope this is Markdown. We will not we will not add this, we will add this one. And there is no new line, of course, we need to fix that. And we will mark it just as work in progress, and we will squash it into the previous commit like this. And for some reason I still fucked up. The reason is simple, I'm just I will not say it. Okay, so stage it, work in progress, and put it right there into that commit. Bam. Okay, so this is our one. Still bad, because backend we wanted to remove this line, didn't we? I think we wanted to remove that line. Yeah, okay, let's try to remove this line, because I kind of think we established that it's not needed. Okay, let's do it now. If we do RG, the devil is there. Good. Okay, so this is not needed. We will move also this line. Like this. Like this, squash it, work in progress, put it here. Okay, so we have this change, adding this one line and some commands. Now we are removing these, so we effectively move them upwards. And we now have our, what is it called? Changelog entry. Good. Git push will fail. Force. We are force pushing into our branch, so that's fine. If we go to the pull request, there is, yeah, we did all of that. And this is our code. That's correct. So we can now create the pull request. And this is our effort finished. Hopefully they will not shred us to pieces that we are stupid and did it completely incorrectly, but I think, or misunderstood the problem or something like that. But I think this fixes the issue for us. I would need a proper reproducer, like not the hello spec file that we modified ourselves to put this one line here. This is a good enough reproducer to make sure the package is installed, because we see it in the logs. But it's not a good enough reproducer in the sense of we need a package that actually relies on that dependencies and would fail if they are not installed properly. If we had a package like that, we could make sure this actually works. Like the build previously fails and it now builds successfully. We don't have that one. I will ask Pavel if he has one, and if yes, I will try to run it on that reproducer, and we will see. Maybe we will do another video on this topic, and maybe we did it successfully. Time will tell. If you are interested, you can watch this pull request and wait for the responses or see if it gets merged or not. All right. Thank you all for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.